Hey, John, I got to ask you the big breaking news over the weekend, of course. The Rock, he came back, SmackDown on USA, shaking it all up. Did you get a chance to catch the appearance? What'd you think?
I did. I thought it was strange, and I thought it was probably supposed to be strange. You know, sometimes you do stuff that you don't have a finish to. That's why you call it episodic television, and I thought that's what that was. I have no idea what I'm going to take your soul. I don't think anybody else does. I thought it was incredibly well done. It looked uncomfortable. And I think that's how it was supposed to look. I thought it was incredibly well done. And by the way, you got the biggest movie star in the last 20 years coming back to WWE. There's no downside to this. You know, this is, a lot of people have always gotten mad about guys coming back. We got mad about the Warrior coming back, about Sid coming back, about Hogan coming back, about The Rock coming back. Look, if you're big enough, you don't need them. But there ain't nobody bigger than that man. And so it's always great to have something like that come back because it really does help the show.
It makes a lot of sense that they would bring him back, especially with the announcement of WrestleMania in New Orleans immediately following with a press conference. I mean, why not milk The Rock's appearance and get whatever media coverage you can? Totally makes sense to use him for the WrestleMania announcement. I guess we'll see what it means storyline-wise. But he did announce he'll be at Elimination Chamber, which makes that show feel even bigger, with John Cena and The Rock both on that show at the Sky Dome in Toronto. It's coming up this weekend. John, you've been around a lot of Elimination Chamber matches in your day. Do you have a prediction this year for the Elimination Chamber? Everybody has John Cena circled. Is that what you'd like to see too, or is there another idea?
Hey, I was wrong at the Royal Rumble, and I was happy I was wrong because I love Jey Uso, and I thought the swerve was really well done. Yes, I'm doubling down on John Cena. I think that promo he cut was just magnificent, and there's only one like him. I think throw him a bone. I hope he goes over. I'm excited that he's there. I was in Elimination Chamber, and one time, I think I was in just one, and Umaga, he played high school football in Samoa, barefoot. So imagine looking back and seeing this 245-pound huge Samoan back there in the backfield in a football game barefoot. Like, dude, we quit. We forfeit. We don't want to play you guys. He was walking across the grate. Now, that's how tough he is. He was walking across the grate, and I saw his feet were hurting. And I thought, if that big tough son of a bitch's feet are hurting, don't open this fucking pod. Whatever you do, don't open this pod. And right when I was thinking this, some fan is out there like on the third or fourth row and says, "Hey, JBL, you fat ass, what are you doing in there?" And I look back, I go, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I was hoping my pod would never open. Unfortunately, it did.
Yeah, No Way Out, 2008. We go back to February of 2008, 17 years ago. It was Triple H, Chris Jericho, Jeff Hardy, JBL, Shawn Michaels, and Umaga. I kind of forgot you were in Elimination Chamber. Like, of all of these sort of gimmick matches that are out there, is that the most dangerous one? Is that the most devastating one?
No doubt about it. When they first built it, there was nothing on that structure that didn't hurt. I mean, nothing. It looked like a terrific idea. I don't know I think Jericho maybe came up with the original idea, is what I heard. I know maybe Hell in a Cell. I'm not sure. Anyway, the original idea, there was nothing about it that was safe. Everything on that thing hurt, and nothing made a noise. So it's the worst of everything. You hit a freaking floor, it's just a thud. No noise, but it almost breaks your back. It was like the Punjabi prison match. When they first built that thing, it looked like bamboo, but it was solid steel.
Oh, shit.
When you hit that thing, it hurt. Anything that touched that thing hurt, but it looked fake. So when you're hitting it, it's like the worst of everything. You're getting beat to hell, and the crowd's not reacting because it doesn't look real. That's how the Chamber was when it first started. They've since made it a lot better. I was glad I was in one, but I didn't want to be in two.
What a rib. I mean, you would think if we're creating a new gimmick match for wrestling, we would keep like sound and safety in mind, but I guess they're like, they'll figure it out.
Right. Because they always mic, Fritz was one of the first ones to mic the ring, and, had, several cameras, mic'd up the ring, and, it's been done for years. And then they would, now they have, some type of things that are underneath the grates and stuff. When it hits, it rattles, it makes a sound. But when you first build it, it was just like we're going to build something indestructible. Okay, that's good because the boys aren't indestructible.
Did you know that there was I don't know how I didn't know this, but as I was going over to cagematch.net to figure out exactly when you were in an elimination chamber, because I'll admit I wasn't watching in 08. That was a blind spot for me. I didn't know. So I typed in your last name. Did you know there was a guy who called himself, instead of JBL, he was IBL? Insane Bradshaw Lafield. Did you know about this?
No, never heard it.
There's a wrestler from Canada.
Really?
Who I guess also wrestled under the name Bill Coltrane. And he had the gimmick name Insane Bradshaw Lafield. IBL. How great is that?
I love it. You know, guys used to, you know, Tracy Smothers, you know, and if, you know, I thought it was a rib at the time, found out later from his friends it was a rib, but he would go around and he would imitate me with the big belly and the suit and everything. And I thought, man, I need to send this guy a check. I mean, all he's doing is promoting me. Right. Effie recently went out as, you know, Effie's a gay man that's a wrestler, and he went out as Gay BL. And I said, that is, I saw him like right after that. I said, Effie, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I love stuff like that.
Gay BL is such
Gay BL. He had Gay BL. He had the cowboy hat and everything. It was fantastic. I saw him. And I said, man, I went straight to him. I said, I want to tell you that was fantastic.
Well, listen, everybody is sort of waiting with bated breath to see what WrestleMania is going to look like. And we feel like we know some of the matches. Like we know it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. And a lot of people are speculating that if John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, maybe it'll be John Cena and Cody Rhodes. That was a report that we saw a few months ago from Dave Meltzer. But what is the other match? You know, there was speculation that maybe there was going to be a three-way match, but now people are wondering, John, are we going to get Rock and Roman this year? Do you have a WrestleMania prediction? What does Roman Reigns wind up doing this year? Does The Rock wind up wrestling?
I think there's a chance. Yeah. Because I think The Rock loves wrestling. I think deep down, The Rock really enjoys wrestling, and he's always loved the business. And, you know, grew up in the business. It's always been a part of his blood. He's really good at it, by the way. I'd love to see him wrestle. I don't know if he will or not. You know, it's kind of, you know, you never know what's a swerve and what isn't. When he said Cody and he don't have to culminate in a match, I thought it was a great thing that he said. Now, whether that is true or not is different, because whether he's working or whatever else, you know, and good grief. I hope he's working this because I enjoy being worked. I enjoy swerves coming, and I enjoy having the fun of being surprised. I'd love to see Rock in a match. And I'd love to see Rock versus Roman. I think that's one of the most interesting things that's out there.
Well, we're going to stay tuned this weekend. Of course, it's all going to come to a head. I also wanted to ask, did you have a chance to catch the Australian show this past weekend? Anytime there's an international show, it feels like it makes headlines. We hear it's one of the third biggest gates of all time for that promotion. And man, they had a hot crowd. What'd you think?
Yeah, you know, I caught the social media stuff of it. I rarely watch, you know, full pay-per-views, full shows. I catch a lot of social media clips, and that's why I keep up with it. It looked like it was a great show. You know, I know they're disappointed because they went from an arena down to a stadium down to an arena, but you're still selling something out that's pretty big, and you're still putting a lot of people in there. And with fewer matches, which I think is a key. You know, I've been surprised WWE, you know, how few matches they're having, and it works. I mean, you're letting these guys tell magnificent stories of 20, 30 minutes. And maybe that's where they're picking it up from, you know, instead of just hot-shotting everything.
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to a big year in professional wrestling in 2025. And there's lots of rumor and innuendo. There's lots of speculation out there. You never know what's going to happen next. And maybe that's why we love talking about it so much. But